So just finding whatever position is going to work for you for sitting, doesn't matter what it is, and just starting to connect with the breath. And as you start to become aware of your own breathing, just notice kind of the rhythm of the breath. It doesn't have to be anything special or specific, just starting to notice what happens when you inhale, what happens when you exhale, the expansion and the contraction. And as you start to notice what's going on with the breath, see if you can start to just tune in to the body. What is the body experiencing right now? Maybe that's areas of sensation. Maybe it's lack of sensation. Maybe you notice temperature. Maybe you notice the surface that you're seated on. Just kind of noticing how your body comes into contact with the world around you. And then coming back to your awareness of the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, just seeing if you can notice the subtlety of the breath. Can you notice the breath as it comes in through the nasal passage and then back out again? And then as we're here, starting to find a little bit more length through the spine. So as on the next inhale, let the shoulders draw up by the ears. And as you exhale, let the shoulders press straight back so the chest lifts a little bit more. Maybe the shoulders will draw down the back. Maybe they won't, just depends on where you're at. And then see if you can become aware of where the crown of the head is, where the skull is. Are you leaning forward? Sometimes you're going to hang out leaning forward. Are you kind of rounding through the spine? Sometimes when we sit at our computer for too long or on the couch. But seeing if the shoulders, when the shoulders rise get up, if the spine can get long and the shoulders draw down and back, the chest lifts. And then bring your right hand behind the head. Just bring the hand as if you're going to do a sit-up, right? Just bring the hands straight back to the middle of the skull and press the head into the hand and resist with the hand. It doesn't matter where your elbow is in space. If this bothers your shoulder, you can draw your elbow forward, which will give your shoulder a little bit more space to move through the plane it needs to. Think about pressing the throat straight back as the head presses straight back, just enough that you start to feel the muscles on the back of the neck turn on. Like, oh, hi muscles, how are you? Once you feel those, can you remove the hand and continue to press the center of the head, the center of the throat back, and keep that engagement, just like 5% or so of your effort, nothing major. And then in this position with the shoulders drawing back, the head pressing back, can you draw the navel in? Can you squeeze in with the transverse abdominis? Can you hug in as if you're wearing a girdle? I guess that's what the transverse does. It's the girdle muscle. It hugs in, makes the waist a little bit smaller. Just getting a little bit of support on the spine, that's all this is about. And see if with the transverse abdominis hugging in, the shoulders up and then back and then maybe down a little, press the center of the throat and head pressing back. The muscles along the back body chain are starting to turn on. Seeing if you can just breathe here, take a few more breaths. And then when you're ready to do so, let the hands come down by your sides. Let the left fingertips crawl out just a little. Reach the right arm straight to the sky. So think straight line up. And then as you reach up, start to crawl the fingertips towards the left and start to breathe into the right side of the rib cage. So you're getting a little bit more space here, maybe a little bit more space under the armpit. And can you maintain the head pressing back? Sometimes we drop it in. See if you can reverse that iPad, cell phone position that many of us are spending more time than usual in. And slowly coming back through center. Right fingertips walk to the right. Left arm comes straight up. Left arm comes straight up first. Reach the fingertips to the sky. Press the center of the throat back, the head back. Find that little engagement. Even use the right hand if you need to. And then crawl the right fingertips towards the right as you breathe into the left side of the ribs. So let this expansion happen here. Imagine that you're just kind of peeling tape away and you can feel the movement through the ribs as if you had tape on your skin that you were gently peeling away. Not the kind of tape that hurts. Keep pressing the head back. On the next inhale, slowly coming back up through center. Let's take a moment here and let's just roll the shoulders. So let's start by rolling them forward and then roll them back. So up and back, just seeing where they're at today. Just a little exercise here. We'll turn the palms to the sky, elbows coming down. So imagining that you've got like trays, like you're a waiter, and then reach the hands out. Keep rotating so the palms are up, the biceps roll back, keep reaching the hands away. And as you reach the hands away, can you squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other? Like, and it will feel like, oh, hi, there's lots of muscles on the back of my upper back. And check in and see what's happening in your head. Sometimes this happens. See if you can press back. Just take one more breath. And then release down. This time internally rotate. So this would be kind of neutral position. See if you can internally rotate, biceps roll down and in. You might have to bring the arms in front of you just a little. This will save the shoulder if you've got some shoulder rotator cuff, fun rotator cuff and bicep stuff going on. A little internal rotation here. So you can feel the muscles starting to turn on. Again, press the center of the throat, press the center of the head back. One more breath. And then release down. Just take a moment. I haven't really done very much, but can you start to feel the muscles in the shoulders, the muscles in the upper back, the back of the neck? Can you feel them start to turn on? We have a tendency to overstretch the back body and then to say, oh, the whole front's tight, let me stretch. And then it just exacerbates the problem because muscles like to be contracted. They like to squeeze. So we're going to take some time today as we move through practice to do some squeezing of the muscles, some contracting, and some creating space. Moving through a little bit slower, gentler of a flow tonight. Let's take one more breath here. And now because we're here and we're seated, let's bring our hands to our hips. Or maybe just to your waist. My hips certainly aren't this high. Draw the shoulders up by the ears. Let the shoulder heads press back and then squeeze the elbows towards each other. So you can see I let the thumbs stay, the palms face down, fingertips come forward. So I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together. I'm squeezing the elbows towards each other. I'm reaching the elbows back towards the wall behind me. So I could just kind of be here, but I really want the thumbs back behind the torso and then pressing in. So turning on the rear deltoids. And then again, we might be a little bit forward. See if you can just press the center of the throat back. As if that head's pressing back into an imaginary hand. Right now, your upper back should be like on fire, turned on, cool, and then release. Just adding in a little neck movement here. So dropping the chin towards the chest, right ear to right shoulder. And then chin to chest. And left ear to left shoulder. We'll take a few more rounds here. Just kind of moving at your own pace. And the idea here is you're not moving too fast. And it's not to get a huge deep stretch here. It's just kind of to notice, like, oh, what's going on? I got something there. Okay. That's the goal in this. Just notice what's going on in the neck. Next time you find your way back through center, let the chin stay drawing in towards the chest. And then imagine the directionality of your head. Imagine that you're reaching the crown in that, like as if a rocket were coming out of the crown of the head. Can you reach away just a little bit more through the crown of the head? Like 1%. Cool, now let's slowly draw the chin back to parallel. Let's bring the hands behind the head, both hands. You can just bring fingertips if you'd like. And then press the head back into the hands, resist with the hands. And instead of just pressing straight back like we did before, this time start to let the chin lift, but keep pressing back into the hands. So don't just contract down here. That just causes yucky crunchiness in the neck. We don't want that. That's an anatomical term, yucky crunchiness. So keep pressing back. Just till you're like, okay, yeah, there's muscles back there. Maybe you even starting to notice a little bit of action in the spine, the erector spinae and multifidi, the muscles along the spine. Maybe your traps, lats, all those things. You're like, oh, cool, I have muscles on my back. Cool. Take one more breath. Slowly come back through center. Let the hands come down. Again, maybe roll out the shoulders, add a little neck movement. And then once you're ready to do so, we'll come forward to all fours on our hands and knees. So as you come to all fours on our hands and knees, just finding that place where you stack, hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists. And let's grip the ground. So grip into the pads of the finger and then the knuckles at the base of the finger. So this knuckle line along here. So pressing down into that. And then gripping, imagining that you're trying to squeeze the thumb and pinky finger together, but the mat's in the way, so you can't actually do so. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Press into the fingertips. Press into the knuckle band. Pull the thumb and pinky towards each other. So all the fingers are turned on. So your forearms should start turning on here. That's good. With the forearms turning on, inhale, let the belly drop down, let the tail lift, and the heart come forward. And then exhale as you press into the hands and round. Draw the navel towards the spine, bring the gaze to the knees. Inhale, arch. Keep squeezing into those hands. And exhale, round. Few more rounds here. Inhale, arch. And exhale. If you need to let go of the hands, that's fine. Just see if you can come back to it. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to center here. Maybe just give a little flex, extend and flexion of the wrists, a little back and forth. And then we'll come back here, stacking once again, and just enough weight in the hands that we're trying not to stay away in the heel of the hands, trying to keep it in the knuckles of the hands. Then we're gonna move through the shoulders. So the shoulder blades will squeeze together as the chest drops down. So the only thing moving here is my shoulder blades just squeeze together, and then I press the earth away as my shoulder blades move apart. Inhale, shoulder blades squeeze together, chest drops down. So this isn't like the same cat-cow we just did. This is shoulder blades, and then press the earth away. Let's do a few more of those. Inhale, squeeze together, and exhale, press away. Two more. Inhale, and exhale. Last one. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, arms are straight, and exhale, press away. Nice job, hips to heels. Let's just take a little break in child's pose. So again, you might add in a little movement At the wrists, literally everything in my upper body is cracking. That happens, no big deal. We'll take a few more rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, find your way forward to all fours. Arch and look up. Curl the toes under. Pull the belly in. So still a little bit of an arch, but the belly's now pulling in. Curl the toes under and lift the knees about an inch to hover. If you can't see, my knees are not on the ground. Keep pressing away with the hands, but lift the tail. And the knees come down. Hips to heels, child's pose. On the next inhale, press down into the hands so the shoulders come up. We'll reach the right arm towards the sky, open the chest to the right, and then thread the right arm underneath the left. So right shoulder comes down, side of the head comes down. Left hand can stay, you can just stay tented fingers if that works, or you can crawl the fingertips away. You can even sweep an arm up and around. Whatever works best for your body right now. And imagine that you're trying to take those back of those fingers like, oh, like you just got a nice manicure. I did not. And press the fingernails down into the earth from that right hand. So just the fingernails. You don't have to press everything down, but just press the fingernails down with like 2 or 3% of your effort. Just enough that you're like, oh, hey, what's going on back there, shoulder? Just giving it a little baby contraction. And slowly release. Release the right hand fingernails, pressing down, press down to the left hand. You come back to all fours. Reach the right arm out. Inhale, left arm comes to the sky. Threading the left arm through, left shoulder comes down, side of the head comes down. Same action here, even though you can't see it. Fingernails, the manicure is pressing down into the earth, just the fingernails of the 4 fingers. The thumb doesn't have to play this game. And the next inhale, slowly come back through center. Bring both hands to the mat. Curl the toes under. Lift the tail, press into the hands and up and back to down dog. So staying low to the earth tonight. I'm just starting to think about this idea of letting go of what does not serve you. There's lots of things going on in the world right now, and there are definitely things that are not of service. And can you let go of the things that don't serve you? Can you let go of other people's things? Maybe shift the hips a little from side to side. See what's happening in your shoulders. And then press down into the hands. So that instead of hanging here in the shoulders, you pop up a little bit. So head comes up towards the sky a little, and then look forward. Let's reach the right leg back. And let's step the right foot through. Left knee comes down here. Press down into that front heel and reach the arms to the sky. So you might be here kind of hanging out like, okay, hands are gonna come to the knee, that's fine. As you press down to the front heel, imagine that you're dragging that back knee in, just turn on the back leg a little, maybe the arms to the sky, maybe the hands behind the head. So you can press the center of the head back. Take one more breath. Inhale, arms to the sky. And then as we exhale, slide the hips back, pop the toes up. And then we'll move with a few rounds of breath here. So we'll inhale as we come forward. Sweep the arms up. And exhale as we slide back. Toes pop up. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale. One more. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale. Inhale this time as we come forward. Plant the hands inside that front foot and step back to down dog. Reach the left leg to the sky, inhale. And then step the left foot outside of that left hand. Right knee comes down, press down into the front heel. Drag the front foot and back knee towards each other. Let me just take a moment here. Ooh, I can feel that. Reach the arms to the sky. Maybe the hands behind the head. Maybe the hands on the thigh. One more breath here. Inhale here. And then exhale as we fold forward, hips slide back, toes pop up. We'll do a few of these. Inhale, forward and up. And exhale, fold and back. Just moving with your breath. So wherever your inhale is, you come forward and up. And whenever you're ready to exhale, you slide it back and pop the toes up. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. This time we come forward, plant the hands, step it back, down dog. And let's walk the hands back. We'll bring the feet to about outer hip width distance, almost mat width distance. Bend the knees, let the ribs fall towards the thighs, let the head release down. Maybe grab elbow to elbow here. Maybe the hands come to the ground. Maybe you add in a little movement. On the next inhale, bring the hands to the shins, lengthen out, draw the belly in and up, and fold. Let's do two more of those. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, and exhale. This time, walk the hands back out. We'll come all the way out to plank. Bring the knees down and lower all the way down onto your belly. So we'll do a few baby back bends here. Not quite as much space as at a studio, but bring our fingertips out to the side. We'll draw the shoulders up by the ears. Hug the shoulder heads straight back. And then press into the fingertips. Press down into the tops of the feet. Start to look forward as you get a little back bend here. And then release it down. Let's do two more of those. Press into the fingertips, shoulders up and back. And down. Last one. Shoulders up and back. Inhale. And exhale as we come back down. Stack the hands here, one on top of the other, and bring the forehead to the back of the hands. From this place, work your feet together. So mine have a tendency to be out. See if you can squeeze your ankle bones towards each other. Press the front of your pubic bone into the earth. And on the next inhale, can you lift just the upper body? So press the feet down into the earth and lift just the upper body. Forehead stays glued to the hands. And then slowly releasing back down. Maybe you wiggle out the hips a little. This next one, just the legs you're gonna lift. So you can keep the head resting on the back of the hands. I just lifted mine so I could talk. Hug the ankle bones together. And when you're ready to do so, can you lift the legs with the feet glued together? Can you get the legs up off of the ground? It's way harder. If they're apart, they come way further. And then slowly release it down. Maybe wiggle out the hips. And so this time, instead of trying to glue the legs together, can you let the ankles do whatever they want? Think about gluing just the upper legs together. So squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. And on your next inhale, we'll lift upper and lower at the same time. So maybe we start with the upper inhale, lift, and then holding there, letting the lower come up, keep squeezing the legs towards each other. So feet don't have to be touching, but squeeze the inner thighs together. One more breath. And release it down. And then from here, let's bring our elbows underneath our shoulders. We'll find a Sphinx pose variation. So elbows stack underneath the shoulders, squeeze the elbows in, press down into the elbows and the forearms, lift through the chest. See if you can start to let the sternum come forward, the center of the chest come forward, and maybe the shoulders even draw back just a little bit. And then, because we're going to get tricky, work on our core a little bit. Press down into the wrists, pull the belly in from here. As we press down into the hands, let the ribs pull back, let the belly pull back, and then whoop, pop up to forearm plank. You might have to readjust your feet. And see if you can slowly come back down. So maybe the thigh bones come down first. I like to bend my knees. And slowly take my time, roll through the spine, let the chest lift. And then kicking the elbows out to the side. We'll just take a breath or two here before we come back. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press back to table. Take a pause at table. Just kind of notice what's going on in the spine for you. You might do a little cat-cow. Curl the toes and come up and back to down dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Bend the knee and wrap the hip open. So from here, kick into the heel. Like kick the heel as if you have a neighbor behind you and you're trying to kick them with the heel of your foot over on your left side. Can you kick back so that your glutes turn on and you create a little bit more space through the right side of the abdomen? Maybe that left knee bends a little bit more. Maybe press into that right hand a little bit more. Straighten the leg and come back to center. And adjusting, coming over to the other side. Left leg extends back. Bend the knee, wrap the hip open. So again, kicking that left foot back. Creating space on the left side of the abdomen. You bend the knee just a little. And then come back to center. This time, let's step the right foot forward. So we'll reach the right leg back behind. The right foot's going to step to the outside of the right hand. We'll take a pause here. So think lizard pose, but with the hands down. So think like plank. So as you're here with the right foot to the outside of the right hand, press into the hands like you're in a plank pose. Can you pull the belly in and up? Can you press into that left foot, that back leg, and step back with the right, and then step forward with the left? Can you maintain this plank position? Can you press away, and can you switch again? Press away, and switch again. Let's do one more. Press away, and switch again. This time, look forward. Keep the right foot where it is, that's the front one, and set the back foot up. Open the feet wide, turn the heels in just a little. toes out a little and find a Malasana squat. So as the elbows come inside the legs here, press the elbows into the legs, hug in with the legs, and then lift a little bit more through the chest. The hands come down, we'll step back, down dog. And let the knees come down. I'm gonna turn to the length of my mat. You can stay right where you are, but I'm gonna turn so I come facing the camera and come to stand on my shins. I'm gonna let the right hand come down. So right knee is down, left leg extends. As the right hand is down, right knee is down, left leg extends, I'm gonna press into the inside edge of that left foot, reach the left arm to the sky, press into that right hand a little bit more, press the head back, you can even bring the hand back behind. And we'll take the top arm, bring it down and around, and we're gonna come to the other side. So you can just rotate to the other side. I'm gonna move so you can see me. Come to stand on the shins. Left hand comes down, right leg extends out. Press into the inside edge of that right foot. Right arm comes to the sky. Now sometimes we hang this way, or we hang this way with the head. Keep pressing the head back so it's on its central axis. Maybe the gaze comes to the sky. Maybe to the ground, maybe straight in front. Keep pressing away with that left hand. Let the top arm come down and around. And open the knees wide here, and we'll take a child's pose. From here, from child's pose, walk the hands to the right. Let the left fingertips crawl away a little. I like to use my right forearm as a pillow. You can just bend the elbow, bring the forearm across. Keep crawling the left fingertips away. Keep hugging the left hip back. So getting long through the left side body. On the next inhale, walk the hands back through center. Right fingertips walk away. Left forearm can become your pillow. Getting long through the right side body. We'll slowly find our way back through center and come out onto our bellies. Bring the right hand over to the right. So the right hand can come out straight out in a T position. You can bend it to 90 degrees so that you're like a field goal position. Or you can, I like to draw my arm diagonally out as if I'm lining it up with the corner of my yoga mat and crawl the right fingertips away. Left hand comes down on the ground like we did with Cobra. Press the fingertips down, elbows up towards the sky, and then press into the left hand as you roll up onto the right side. Just starting to find a little, maybe opening on the front of that right shoulder. For me, the diagonal brings the sensation into my armpit, which is where I need it. the next inhale, find our way back through center. And then the left hand comes off to the left at a diagonal, arm bent to field goal or straight out. Right hand presses down. We roll up onto that left side. So again, you might stay stacked. You're gonna bring the right foot behind. You might open the knee out to the right. Just finding the sensation that works for your body. There's no like, this is the right way here. Just keep crawling those left fingertips away. As we start to feel jammed up in the shoulder, you probably need to crawl the fingertips away a little bit more. And slowly coming back to center. Just take a moment here. Press into the hands. And we're actually going to roll over. So flipping over onto our backs. Just taking a moment while you're here. Noticing what it feels like to have the earth supporting you. And then from here, we have a tendency for the shoulders to be rounded up. Can you draw the shoulders up by the ears and then press them straight down into the earth? Bringing the hands out to the side in a T or a field goal position, just depending on what you have space for. It doesn't really matter. And as you let the arms reach straight out or field goal position and the heads of the shoulders are pressing back into the earth, can you squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit? And can you press the forearm, the elbow, really, down into the earth? Can you turn on the back body one more time? Create a little bit more space across the chest. So the best way to create space on the front of the body is to contract the muscles on the back of the body. And then releasing that contraction. Can you just allow the bones to be heavy? If your shoulders or your shoulder girdle wants to pop back up, can you just allow the bones to be heavy and stay connected to the earth? And then without moving, trying to crawl the crown of the head away from the body, and then taking the back of the head where it comes into contact with the earth, with the mat, and press with like 2%, maybe 3% of your effort until you feel the muscles along the upper back, the back of the neck, turn on. Just like, oh, hi, we exist. Remember us? Not so much that you want to give yourself a headache. That's not what we're looking for. And then can you see if while you're here, if you can swallow, pressing the head back into the earth, can you swallow and allow the front of the neck to let go, the front of the throat to let go? If the arms are too high, that's going to be hard, maybe bringing them down at a diagonal like you would for Shavasana. Creating a little bit more space across the throat. And since we're making space across the throat, can you bring to mind something that maybe you've been hanging on to, something that maybe you want to speak or share with someone and you've been reluctant to do so? Can you bring that to mind and can you speak it? Your mics are, nobody's hearing you. Can you speak it, even if it's softly, to yourself and let it go? Can you clear the space in and around the front of your throat, the back of your throat, the sides of your throat, and allow yourself to just be energetically clear? You can use a breath to help with that, just kind of clear out the residue. And then swallow. And then once you're ready to do so, the arms down by your side, let the palms turn up. Walk the feet in as close as they can to your sits bones without you having to grab onto them and pull them in. And then press into the feet, lift the hips about an inch or so. And then can you find that cow pose, that little back bend? So the butt goes back like a J-Lo a little bit. And then so you have a little arch in the low back. The low back is turned on. And then you press into the hands. Press into the feet and lift the hips. The hands are coming next. And then we'll press into the backs of the hands and the fingernails once again. Squeeze the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, and see if that can lift you a little bit more. But continue to maintain that little J-Lo action, that little cow pose action. Can you press into the heels, the inner heels a little bit more? Press down into the fingernails, the elbows, and the backs of the arms a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release back down. And cross the right ankle over the left thigh. You might just stay right here. Maybe you draw the left knee in. I need to readjust my spine a little bit. So readjust your spine by all means if you need to. And then hug the left knee in if this works for you. Now there is this, you can thread through the leg and grab on and pull, and I don't like the way that feels on my shoulder. And so I like to bring my right hand to my right knee, my left hand to my right foot, and just cradle there. And sometimes I'll help to bring it in a little bit more. Sometimes I'll hold on to it as I press away a little bit more. Sometimes I bring my hands to the top and use the strength of my legs, my hip flexors, to pull in a little bit more. So if you've been doing a lot of sitting, this is a good one. Hands to the tops of the legs and then press into the hands. So you're hugging your knees in, hugging your leg in, but turning on the muscles. You don't have to stay there forever, just a couple of breaths. And maybe you come back to this place where you're supporting the leg. Release the left foot down to the ground. Reach the right leg straight to the sky. As you reach the right leg straight to the sky, will the leg straighten out? Sometimes we're here, sometimes the knee's bent. Can you get the knee to draw in? And then can you kick the heel straight to the sky? Getting long through the back of the leg. See if you can firm up this part of the thigh, the quadriceps, the upper thigh. Can you firm those up? Can you turn that on as you straighten the leg? And press the heel to the sky. So not lifting the hips up, but just press the heel of that right foot to the sky until you feel the back of the leg doing something. Take one more breath. And slowly releasing that right leg down. Let's take a moment here. Bring the feet to just wider than hip width distance, so not as wide as the mat, but just a little bit wider than hip width. And let both knees drop over towards the left. So not a huge spine twist here. You might probably feeling it in the front of this right leg. At least that's where I'm feeling it. Into the IT band, maybe a little into the side body. It's okay to let the hips kind of lift up and swing here so we can maintain a healthy low back. And slowly coming back up through center. We'll cross the left ankle at the right thigh. Let's take a moment here, press the knee away. You might be like, this is it. That's good enough. That works for me on this side. Or you can hug the right knee in. And again, hands can come behind the knee for support. You can certainly thread through. If you're threading through, you'd grab on through and grab onto the back of that right leg or the shin on the right side. It's just not my favorite. It pulls on my neck and my shoulder a little bit too much. Again, you can always bring your hands to the top, pull in, activate. Bring your hands to the bottom or outer edge, press away and activate. When you're ready to do so, releasing the right foot down, reaching the left leg to the sky. It's the same action here. Hug the left knee in, press the heel up, get long through the back body, activate the top of this leg. So if you're just kind of here and this leg's not activated, it's not gonna help with your hamstring. But if you can press enough that you can turn on the top of this thigh, it doesn't have to be completely straight, wherever that activation is, that's called reciprocal inhibition. It will help to release the hamstring on the backside. And then kick the heel to the sky, since, we have a little release, get a little bit more sensation. It's a good time to play around with your toes. Can you spread them? Can you press your big toe away and draw the rest of your toes towards you? Can you reverse? Draw your big toe towards you and press the rest of your toes away. This is a fun game we play at my house all the time. I'm always the winner. Nobody else can do it. Although Marley's getting pretty good on one foot. And slowly releasing that leg down. Again, feet are a little bit wider than hip width. Let both knees drop towards the right. Slowly coming back through center here. And if you would like to, if it works for your shoulders, this doesn't always work for my shoulders, but you can draw the right arm underneath the left, bring back, you can grab here, give yourself a hug. You can bring back of hand to back of hand, or you can hook, so think, what is this called? Eagle arms. I have a shoulder that has, gets a little bit wonky, and that's one of the poses that it does not like. If you're looking for a little bit more space, again, if you've been sitting, maybe you bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out. A little space in the hip flexors and the adductors, the groin. Let's play with activation here. You can release the arms. So we have the right underneath the left, just to remember. You can come here and bring your hands inside of your your legs, anywhere inside your legs. And then use that, hands on the inside of the legs, to press the knees towards each other and resist with the hands, right? So you start to turn on the inner leg line. And that's one way to open up the inner legs, and then you can release. The other thing you can do is bring your hands to the outside and then press the knees away. Activate the outer hips by pressing the knees away from each other, resisting with your hands. You can do the same thing with no hands there, but sometimes it's easier for people to just have something to press into. So you can kind of play around with that. You might activate one way and then release, and activate the other way and then release. And if you did that eagle arm thing, we did right under left. You can do left under right. Again, back of hand to back of hand, or palm to palm. Or you can just give yourself a hug. Breathing into the upper back. Releasing the arms, let the arms come down by your side. And so again, let the shoulders rise up by the ears. Press the shoulders straight back into the ground. Press down with the arms so the chest lifts, shoulder blades can squeeze together. And let the palms come down. And see if that creates a little bit more space across the front of the chest. And then maybe you extend the legs long here. And just take a moment before you find the rest. Can you press the backs of the heels down? Can you press the fingernails down, the elbows down, the upper arms down? Can the shoulders press down, the shoulder blades squeeze together? Can the back of the head press into the earth? Can you press down with 5% of your effort all over the place, and then release? And then as you release that contraction, that pressing down into the earth, can you notice the swirling of the energy in the body? Can you notice the beating of your own heart? The rhythm of your own breath? And can you just take a moment to remember the energy line that runs from the root of the spine to the crown of the head? And just noticing if there's anywhere in that line that you feel a little bit more space, a little bit of a shift in some way. And can you settle into the heaviness of the bones, feeling as if your hands and your feet, the back of your head and the center of your pelvis are all glued to the earth, fully supported. You can begin to draw some awareness back to your breath. Deepening the inhalation and the exhalation. Drawing some awareness back to the body. Adding in some movements. When you're ready to do so, slowly finding your way to a seated position, bringing the hands to the heart. May this practice bring you an opportunity to clear away that which does not serve you, to let go of other people's junk, and allow yourself to sit with peace in your own experience. Namaste.